the 19th of March 2012. This is Capital FM Online TV News. In the headlines, Kibaki can legally stay in office until after 2013 poll. Ongeri says schools to go on half-term to allow for polls. Appeals court to hear election date dispute on Thursday. And William Ruto to face full trial over IDP land grabbing case. Good evening, I'm Victoria Rubadiri. The Commission for the Implementation of the Constitution says there will be no breach of law if President Mwai Kibaki were to stay in office until mid-next year as a new president is elected and sworn into office. CIC Chairman Charles Nyachai told Capital News on Monday that the Constitution expressly allows the two principals to remain in office until the next administration is elected and sworn in. While making reference to the sixth schedule of the Constitution, Nyachai dismissed concerns that the two leaders would unlawfully enjoy extra time in office, saying that the country was in transition and the likely extension was part of the process. He has also dismissed concerns that the incoming parliament will have a shortened term, arguing that it's a consequence of the country being in a transition.
There is no God-given right for any parliament to serve any particular term. The term that Parliament serves, is a term that is set by the Constitution. The Constitution of Kenya is the supreme law, and it is also the Constitution is the sovereign will of the people of Kenya.
Education Minister Sam Ongeri says learning in schools will not be interrupted should elections be held in March next year, as announced by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. Speaking during the opening of an education forum in Nairobi, Ongeri explained that the half-term break will be scheduled to coincide with the March 4, 2013 date to enable a smooth election. The Electoral Commission normally uses schools as polling centers, and those opposed to the elections being held next year argue that voting while schools are in session will interfere with learning. The Education Minister was speaking during the opening of a Quality Education Forum, where he expressed support of the March 4th date chosen by the electoral body. He says there should be no rush to hold the elections in December.
Uchaguzi unafanyika for 2 days na mambo inakwisha. Watakwenda kwa half time wakati huo, alafu warejee kwa madarasa. Sioni ugumu, sioni taabu katika jambo hilo. Ni kurekebisha tu kalenda ya elimu wakati tumekuwa tumechulishwa mapema.
The Court of Appeal is on Thursday set to hear an application by women rights groups over the date of the next general election. This comes as a decision by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission set March 4th next year, as the poll date has sparked debate with various sections of Kenyans either supporting or opposing it. The lobby groups will be seeking a determination on whether the High Court's ruling that elections can be held 60 days after discussion of the coalition government through a written agreement between the two principals or in March should be upheld. According to the rights groups, the latest possible date for the next general election should be October 14th, 2012, and the earliest should be August 14th. Eldoret North MP William Ruto will now face full trial after he failed to agree on outstanding issues, grabbed 100 acres of land from an IDP. This is after Ruto and his accuser Adrian Muteshi failed to agree on outstanding issues despite an earlier out-of-court agreement in the dispute. The former cabinet minister had earlier this month agreed to give up the land but refused to compensate Muteshi and bear the cost of the suit. The High Court in Nairobi ruled that the case will proceed to hearing on April 25th and the 26th. And that does it for our top stories of the day. Thank you for joining us. I'm Victoria Rubadiri.